Boeing's new CEO has officially assumed the top job, and Dave Calhoun has a lot on his plate, steering the embattled planemaker out of a crisis. Now, the longtime board member has already indicated he's willing to take big steps. He reportedly encouraged his own employees to reveal humiliating emails which mocked the company's safety culture. He's also credited with calling for Boeing to recommend simulator training for 737 MAX pilots, despite the company's long opposition to the move. And the aircraft has been grounded after two fatal crashes killed 346 people, and the crisis is far from over. Boeing's expected to reveal one of the largest write-downs in its history later this month, estimated at around $3.6 billion. Now, for more, we have in studio Greg Waldron, Asia Managing Editor with FlightGlobal. Greg, thank you for coming in.
Good to be here.
All right, so Dave Calhoun has a long to-do list. Give us a sense. What's going to be top? What's going to be #1 on that list for him?
Well, I'd say the top 10 items on his list are all going to be 737 MAX. This is this massive crisis, so his key priority now, the technical fixes for the MAX have been put in place by Boeing engineers the last few months, but Dave Calhoun will have to now navigate this complex web of bureaucracy with global regulators to get the aircraft back in the air, and that's going to be a big ask, especially in light of the emails last week and the challenge they've been having with this.
Okay, so how long do you think we're going to see the 737 MAX back on air? Because after all, a lot is riding on it taking to the skies.
That's true. I mean, it's immensely costly for Boeing to have this aircraft on the ground, not to mention the airline customers who need that aircraft to compete. When will it get back in the air? It's really been a fool's errand to say when it's going to happen. When it was first grounded last March, they were saying summertime, then it was September, then it was December. I wouldn't want to go out on a limb and say that, but I do know that a technical fix is in place, and now there's a lot of bureaucracy and committees and that kind of thing that needs to get this aircraft back in the air.
All right, I still want to keep with the 737 MAX because it's costing Boeing some $9 billion to date, and in the meantime, Airbus, expected to have cornered about 2/3 of the market share for last year. Is there any chance perhaps we're going to come back, or it's going to take, some time and they're still going to be in the red?
Oh, certainly Boeing's going to be struggling with this for a long time. Even once they start the aircraft is flying again, you have to deliver the 500 aircraft that are on the ground. You have to get the production line started, and that's a massive task given the sky. This is one of the biggest industrial projects in the world, so getting that going again is going to be a really big thing. Boeing is going to be struggling with this for quite a while, but eventually, they should be able to pull through it and hopefully close the chapter on this.
Okay, so Dave Calhoun has also done something, which a lot of people are wondering, help us understand what's going on here. He's asking for sensitive emails that are actually going to be quite damaging for the company to be released. Why is that?
My impression of that is that really the 737 MAX crisis has been a death by 1,000 cuts. Every week there's some new revelation. Every week there's some new email. Every week there's something that somebody didn't know about. So I think the intention with that email release last Friday was to come out and really try to get ahead of that before it got them, because it would have gotten out eventually. So I think it's just trying to, let's get everything out and let's try to move forward.
And do you think Dave Calhoun is the man? Because after all, they're saying that maybe they should have somebody who is an external individual come in to, help Boeing get through this instead of being a chairman and then now doing this.
Well, Dave has very strong credentials. He was with GE for a long time, and he's a very strong manager, and I think he'll be the right guy to really understand, what are the issues happening in Boeing and what needs to be fixed. Now, whether he'll be the long-term CEO, it's too soon to say. But I think he's the right guy for this interim period to really come in and do major surgery for the company.
All right, well, it's his first day. We're going to see what happens. Thank you very much,
Thank you.
Greg Waldron from aviation news company FlightGlobal.